Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about the scene that we got for episode 18 titled Find Me. There is going to be a trailer breakdown video coming out very soon. This is just more of it's a breakdown of a scene that we got for episode 18, and it's between Daryl and Leah. Yeah, but the general trailer, I'm going to do a video on that right away. That should be up within an hour after this video, so stay tuned for that. If you are new here and you want more Walking Dead content like this, just make sure to be a subscriber. I also do have to say that this will contain spoilers for episode 17. I'm not going to talk about episode 17, and there's a chance that this might not, but I'm just saying this just just in case, just because you never know. I might mention one little thing, but episode 18, I can't imagine any of it really being connected to 17 in any way. Now, the first scene that we have here is a scene between Daryl and Dog. And I've been seeing a lot of people point out the fact that, well, see, this proves that this isn't a Dog origin story because the Dog is here with Daryl. Well, I think there's a good chance that this is the first time Daryl's even seeing Dog. Like, the way he's communicating with the dog, he's just calling it Dog. Like, he's not really saying anything, like, I don't even think he's calling it Dog. I think he's just saying, like, come here, boy. I think he's following the dog, and I think that's really that. Like, I don't think they actually have a relationship here. I think the dog was out there, came across Daryl, and that's why the dog was barking. So that's just my prediction as of now. Obviously, I could be wrong, but that's my prediction, and that's really based off of just the stuff that we got here, and also some stuff that Angela Kang has said about the episode. Like, she did say that we are going to learn the origin story of Dog. I'm paraphrasing there, but yeah. So it makes sense. This is taking place, 5-6 years ago. It was like sometime after Rick disappeared, and you follow and see what Daryl was up to and stuff. And so, yeah, I imagine Dog and this woman, Leah, probably helped him out quite a bit. At least that's what I'm thinking anyways, but we'll have to wait and see. It is pretty hilarious, though, that we are getting a Dog origin story, because, like, I guess it matters that much. It does matter a little bit, because it is Daryl's pet, right? Like, Daryl has that dog all the time, and Daryl doesn't really ever have anyone. So it is kind of important, I think, to learn where Daryl got the dog, because it was never really addressed. They did jump forward 6 years because they are doing something like this, and because it's not just the origin story of how he got the dog, there's also the whole other romantic side to it that is, with Leah and stuff that's being added to it. It makes sense just to introduce it with that, right? So I think it's smart. So now to jump into the synopsis for the episode. First of all, it's episode 18 of season 10. It is titled Find Me. And the synopsis says, Daryl and Carol find an old cabin that takes Daryl back to his years away from the group after Rick disappeared. He relives the painful memory of meeting a reticent or something survivor and the toxic events that amplified his relationship with Dog. This memory, first of all, I guess the first part of that is Daryl and Carol find an old cabin that takes Daryl back to his years away from the group after Rick disappeared. So this, I think we will get some kind of Rick mentions in here. I don't know how much. And that's kind of I guess we'll find out in the trailer. I have not watched the trailer yet for episode 18. So when I do watch that, I'll post a video on that, give my thoughts on that then. But I don't know how much of Rick Grimes mentions we're going to get in this episode. We might not get really anything at all. I think Daryl might mention him I don't know if he'll mention Rick, but he'll say he had a friend or this and that, something happened. Like, he might talk about Rick to Leah, but I don't really, besides that, there might not be a lot of stuff there. And I'm also wondering about how the episode is going to be told, because the very beginning part here says Daryl and Carol find an old cabin that takes Daryl back to his years or whatever. So the episode is going to start off with Daryl and Carol finding an old cabin. So is Daryl telling the story to Carol? Is that what it's all about? Is this that type of story? Like, Daryl is just opening up to Carol about this whole thing, or is Daryl just reliving a memory? I mean, it does say that he relives the painful memory, but he could be reliving it by telling her, right? Or is it something is it a flashback in his head? Is that the whole episode? And then at the end, it cuts back to current times, and Daryl, I think there has to be something to this episode that makes it really good. Because if you think about it, if it is just that, he just finds someone and there's like some kind of survival story there, it might not be that great. But a lot of people who have watched the episode are saying this one's the better of the two, of 17 and 18, and it's a lot better. And so I'm just wondering, what's the catch? Like, what's the conflict and the drama to the episode? When you read the synopsis and when it says he relives the painful memory of meeting a survivor and the toxic events that amplified his relationship with Dog, I think the painful memory is because he actually kind of fell in love with this woman. Something happened to her, maybe she died or she left, and that's just reliving that memory because he's thinking about her again, and it's just a very painful thing for him to remember, right? And the whole toxic thing, I mean, there's got to be a reason why if she does leave, if that's the reason, there probably is something that was just toxic between the two, right? There had to have been something that was just, maybe it is their personalities, right? Because, just based off of the way she dresses and stuff like that, I've always said that she reminds me a lot of Daryl. So what if they're both the same and they're just conflicting like that, right? It just gets very toxic. Like, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But in the scene here, we see Daryl, he finds a cabin. And this woman, this mystery woman's inside. Her name is Leah, obviously played by Lynn Collins. And I imagine this is going to happen pretty early on in the episode because, I mean, obviously there's going to be so much that happens here. This is probably going to happen either in the opening minutes of the episode where Daryl comes across her and the whole scene plays out and then the opening sequence plays, or this will happen right after the opening sequence. I'm thinking it'll happen right afterwards. I think Daryl and Carol might find the cabin, potentially anyways, in the opening minutes, which we should actually get, so I will do a video on it when those opening minutes are released. Leah, though, seems very, very defensive. She's been living in this place and that's the thing about this timeline, it's not like it hasn't been like 10 years, right? At this point, it's been 4 years into the apocalypse. She could have also been in other communities. There's a lot of things here about her backstory that maybe she's a former savior. I don't really know. Like, I don't know what they're planning to do with her backstory, but I know from other scenes that obviously it's pretty crazy here. It's possible that maybe Leah knocks him out or something. Yeah, he wakes up in a room, he's tied up, something like that to get them to a point where they can talk and just everything. She questions him and then eventually they start to open up about stuff. Maybe Daryl will like help her out with something because she needs help. And then they slowly form a bond and then it goes in that direction, right? I'm almost writing the episode myself. Like, I feel like it's going in that direction because we have this shot in the trailer and it wasn't the trailer that came out today. It's the other one that came out yesterday. And Daryl is, again, like, it's the look in his eyes here. And the trailer tonight that comes out could give more context to the scene, but he looks like he's just so captivated by her. And I think it is just the fact that he probably really gets her. That is the crazy thing about this, is that this is going to be someone so important to Daryl that is just, we haven't learned about since, I guess since the time jump happened, right? Daryl is going to be finally opening up about her. And so what is that going to do for the story going forward? Why bring this up right now? It has to matter at some point. What I'm thinking is that maybe she's pregnant with his kid or something like that. Like, we'll see what happens in the episode, but if stuff like that happens, and then there's like this romance between the two, I think there's a chance that, yeah, maybe Daryl has a kid out there, right? I think it is very, very possible. And also there's just this shot right here, and I don't know why, I'm just getting very romance genre vibes from this episode. I think it is going to be a very romantic episode for the character, because the thing is like, if you're going to do a backstory episode on Daryl, what can you really do with the character that we haven't already seen, right? And I think this is something that can definitely add to him, because this is one thing that we haven't yet seen, right? To make these episodes more worth it, give us something like this. I think that's probably what Angela King wanted to get into, is, I guess, the romantic side to Daryl and seeing that. And when I see this, it reminds me of that. I definitely think both of them have something going on. I don't know what happens to her in the end. I don't know if she's ever going to come back in the future, but there is definitely something between the two, and I just can't wait until the next episode comes, because I think it's going to be a really great episode. I'm really excited to watch it, but I'll leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below on the trailer and I guess this scene here. Again, I will be posting a trailer breakdown very soon, as soon as that comes out, because I imagine we're going to get a lot more context to a lot of what I'm talking about. Not even that, just a bunch more footage, and so I'll talk about that more in depth then. This was just something I wanted to throw out and get this out, and yeah, because I saw this like a week ago or something like that, and I couldn't talk about it for like the entire week because obviously episode 17 wasn't even out yet, and so I didn't want to get into that. But yeah, the scene is pretty cool. It's just Daryl finding Leah for the first time, and the big rumor right now is that she and Daryl are gonna have a pretty strong romance and relationship, and her departure, or the events of her departure, whatever it is, hurts Daryl quite a bit. And yeah, we'll see how that's still affecting him to this day, and maybe if there's a way that they can connect it into ways, or just his feelings on certain things, maybe his reasonings for wanting to, or kind of having a crush on Connie and, being a little more flirty with her, or maybe Leah was like his first love kind of thing, right? And he learned something from her, and so he thought, maybe I can do that again with Connie, and then something happened, right? And so it's just, what happened to Leah is also happened with Connie, and maybe he's frustrated with Carol, And so that's where they get into that whole personal drama. Anyways, post all your thoughts down below. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.